What's going on, guys? Mr. Teej66 here, and this is Mr. Teej66's movie reviews. Decided to do something a little different this week. I was going to go see The Mummy, but it just didn't look that good, very generic, so I decided to go with a smaller little independent horror film, which is being released, I believe, nationwide, called It Comes Out at Night. You know, I like to give independent filmmakers a shot because a lot of times they are more creative than these bland, boring, generic, Hollywood blockbusters. So I went and saw that, and it was pretty damn good. One big major flaw, but I will get to that at the end of the review. The movie basically takes place in some kind of post-apocalyptic world. It's never really said exactly what happens. There's some kind of disease out there, but the details of it are pretty scarce. There's a family who lives in the woods. I'm not exactly sure where it takes place, but they live in the woods. They live in a secluded house, and it seems to have no one else around. And, they live their day-to-day lives. They board up the house at night. There's no electricity. They live by candlelight, or not candlelight, like gas-powered stuff or something like that. But anyway, one night, a guy breaks into their house. The father finds him, knocks him out, and the guy says that he has a family which lives up the road, or like 30 miles up the road, and he's trying to find stuff for them. So eventually that is found to be true, supposedly, and that family who has a young child comes and lives with them, and at first they're living in complete harmony, relative harmony, but then tensions start coming. There may be something out there, there may not be, it's never really explained, and you have your movie. Very good movie, very old-fashioned, reminded me of movies from the 70s. Even the opening credits are very reminiscent of films like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not really much gore to it, which I was very impressed with. It's more based on psychological horror. Who's doing what, is this person trustworthy, all that stuff like that. So that was very good. The performances were excellent. Everyone got at least one great moment. Very ambiguous. That was probably the thing that impressed me the most about this movie. It was very ambiguous. Just by the end, there's so much things that are not explained. Who did this? Who did what? There's something that may be in the woods, but it's never really said. We never find out, which I love in horror movies, when you don't see it. You don't know what's going on, what's happening. It's all left to this. I'm tired of... I don't mind gore. Gore can be fun, but it's not particularly scary. And this movie is very, very, very light on gore. The only reason I think it got an R rating was because of language, and that was very refreshing. And there's also no jump scares. That was another thing I really liked. There's a couple, but only a couple, and they're very effectively done. The movie's based on more tension and psychological, as I said, psychological tension and terror and things like that. The biggest problem I had with this movie was the ending. Actually, I wouldn't even say the ending, because the ending is pretty powerful. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but, man, it went to places I did not think it was going to go to. But I guess the part of the ending which really annoyed me, actually, I don't even know if I would say if it really annoyed me. It just, though, it's the last, 15 seconds. You're just like, more like the last 2 minutes. You're just like, that's it? Really? The movie's going to end like that? I mean, I literally sat in the theater, for about 30 seconds going, really? The movie's going to end like that? Wow. I did not see that coming at all, but I'm almost wondering if that's a flaw or a good thing, because it just left me shaken. I was like, wow, I mean, you'll understand when you see it. So I'm going to count that as a flaw for right now, because I can't say the movie's 100% perfect, because it's not. So that's the flaw. But overall, I would definitely give this movie probably a B+. Better than average, very well crafted. Absolutely worth seeing if you're a fan of more psychological horror films. I mean, if you're looking for a bloodbath, don't waste your time, because you're not going to get it. But yeah, so that's this week's movie review. Thank you to everyone for subscribing to me who's, stayed with me. As you can see, I'm still getting used to this, but I thank you all, and hope to see you next time for more Mr. Teej66's movie reviews.